Hi, welcome back to Miss B's art classroom. It's so nice to see you. I'm excited about our next art project we're going to work on. We are going to make 3D paper environments. And what's so cool, let's see if I can get this. Here. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay. That looks a little bit strange, but we'll try that. So this is a 3D cityscape. You could also make a junglescape, seascape, landscape. And when we say landscape, you could do a river, a valley, a forest. You could do something that is in the sky. You could do something futuristic. Last summer, I went to Monterey Bay and I thought it was wonderful. I went to the aquarium, and so it inspired me to make my next one as a oceanscape or seascape. This project is at the very beginning a two-dimensional or flat project, and at the very end we take it from two-dimensional and we fold it and we tape it and we turn it into a three-dimensional project at the end. All right, so I'm gonna set my sample aside and let's talk about the materials that you will need. You've probably noticed from my videos that I am a big fan of 12-inch by 12-inch square paper. For some reason, many of my projects end up being this size. So you'll need your large square of paper. It doesn't have to be huge, actually. In fact, I say large, but really you could make it 8 inches by 8 inches, 6 inches by 6 inches, although that'd be pretty tiny, but that's fine. But it does, for this project, it must be square. So the square shape for this project is important. You will need a ruler, although you don't have to have one. If you don't have a ruler, you could just use the straight edge of a book, but a ruler would help. A pencil. You will eventually need scissors. You will eventually need markers, and you will eventually need tape, but we'll talk about those a little bit later. So this was something I made, I think last year, a cityscape. So I've got some city buildings here. I've got some city buildings here. I have a road for the bottom part. That'll become the bottom part of my environment. This will eventually be folded up. This will be folded up. And this will be cut out. So I'm gonna explain all of this in a second. In fact, let's do that now. So I'm gonna set this to the side. Okay, back to our paper, our ruler, and our pencil. We need to draw 4 squares that are gonna be, basically that's gonna give us 4 different 6-inch squares. And let me show you how to do that. All that we need to do is draw 2 straight lines to get that. I am going to cut 1 square. I'm going to cut well, you can pick whichever square you want. So you are not getting rid of this square, you're going to keep it, and you're going to use this square to draw extra, all the little creatures that you want to inhabit your environment. On this piece of paper, I have, like I said, I want to make an oceanscape. So I have already drawn a jellyfish, a regular fish, a sea star, and then that is going to be a sea urchin. So all my little creatures, I'm going to color them in, cut them out, and then I'm going to use some of that scrap paper to make my little 3D tabs. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to set this aside. Okay, now let's look at this. So I have my 3 remaining squares. Remember this one, I've already drawn my animals on. It's going over here. Okay, this is kind of important. So you'll have 3 squares left, and you can go ahead and make some folds. Okay, usually I draw in Sharpie so you can see it better, but I think this will be okay. So again, I'm Monterey, and also here in Ventura and Oxnard, we have these large kelp forests. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished my drawing, so I actually don't need my pencil or a little pencil sharpener or ruler anymore. I do still need my scissors, so I'll set those over here. I'll put this stuff down here. Wow, I will say this took a long time. So like I said, that's all right. You don't need to be in a rush. I'm now going to go ahead and cut out my ocean animals. All right, so as you can see, I have all my sea creatures, my 4 of them that I just cut out. I've got my seascape or oceanscape. I have little tiny scraps of paper like this one. I don't need those, but the bigger scraps of paper I'm going to save. All right, so you kind of make your plan. I know that I've got my, by the way, I decided that for 3 of the 4, I liked 3 folds. So 1, 2, that gives me 2 folds, but I guess it's 3 sections, 1, 2, 3 sections. The only one that I decided to do 3 folds and 4 sections for was the jellyfish, because the jellyfish is my biggest creature compared to, say, my starfish, which is pretty tiny. Okay, oops. All my sea creatures are attached, and actually I changed my mind. I decided to put my sea star attached to the root ball of my giant kelp. Instead, they sometimes do that since I have 2 bat stars on the bottom. So the very final step, this is exciting, this was a long project, thank you for hanging in there with me, is that we fold up this side and we fold up this side. The ocean floor, of course, stays on the bottom because it's the floor part. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put 3 pieces of tape. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think I realized what happened was these creatures are a little bit heavy, so they're kind of big. I think that's why, and also the paper I used isn't super thick. So sometimes that happens, that's okay, that's part of being an artist. Okay, so that was my ocean environment, my oceanscape. If you remember from before, I'm gonna set that out of the way. I had my cityscape, which I had cut apart. Let me just show you one more time. So same thing, fold it up. Take that off. Fold it up. 3 pieces of tape. 1, 2, the bottom part stays the bottom. And I do always like to tape the top first. I think that is the key. You want those 2 pieces. It is a little tricky. You might want someone to help you. And those get, there we go. Okay, great. So I have only 1 piece of tape. I'm gonna put 1 more right there. Perfect, okay. And then you can see that pretty well. Great, so you can really make any kind of environment you want. An oceanscape, a cityscape. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.